Greetings, esteemed listeners. It is with a profound sense of privilege and a touch of humble anticipation that I introduce myself as your new narrator. My purpose here is simple yet boundless: to weave tales of every conceivable kind, from the grand epics that stir the soul to the quiet, intimate moments that resonate deeply within us. I am not here to command your attention, but to gently invite it. Consider this: a welcoming hearth, where stories are told and shared, a space where imagination can take flight, and where the echoes of diverse experiences can be heard. Whether you seek adventure, solace, wonder, or simply a moment of escape, I hope to offer something that speaks to you. So, please, make yourselves comfortable. The stories are ready to unfold, and I am truly honored to have you here to listen. So, for as long as I can remember, I have been into the dark and macabre. I loved listening to scary stories and telling them, and I don't know why, but when my oldest niece, Janie, was born, she seemed to have had the same fascination. When she was about 5, she had an imaginary friend that had a certain eeriness to it. She called her the girl with the umbrella. And sometimes she would say that she was watching us, and weirdly, she would be told things by this mysterious entity that turned out to be true. But when she was about 7, the girl with the umbrella disappeared. She had done doodles of her after her disappearance, but would always leave the face blank. Not because the girl didn't have a face, but because the face would make my sister, her mother, very sad. As time went on, my niece and I had a bit of a connection where we'd talk about ghosts and paranormal happenings, and we'd find it funny how her father, this big tough man, would twist and squirm at the mention of ghosts. Then last year, when she turned 12, she wanted to do a podcast where we'd hang out and tell ghost stories and connect to others. Well, her parents had said no about their 2-year-old being exposed to the internet, but I decided we'd record the podcast and I'd never post it. So we got into the habit of her coming over, having dinner with me and my boyfriend, then the 3 of us recording and having a fun time. But then, in March, Janie and her father got into a car accident, and neither of them made it out. My sister was devastated, obviously, and my boyfriend and I moved my sister's daughters, Mia and Harper, into our house while my sister Lee went to see her in-laws. It was hard on all of us, but losing Janie was devastating to me. I tried to keep a straight face in front of the girls, but there wasn't a night that my boyfriend didn't have to hold me as I sobbed at losing her. I don't really know exactly when it happened, but a few months back, the girls had talked about seeing their sister and that she was always following either their mother or me around. It was a nice thought, but I didn't expect her to be around. We had a code, and unless it appeared, I knew she wasn't there. It was stupid, but there was this old record player that my grandpa had, and Janie and I had set up on code when I died. I'd play the record for her so she knew I was around. I kept the record player in my bedroom, and it never turned on. But the girls insisted that Janie was walking around the house. A few days back, my boyfriend had finished a drawing he was working on, and it was a picture of me standing at the bus stop, but above me was the girl with the umbrella. But this time she had a face, and it was Janie. He had told me that Janie had told him years ago that the girl had her face. He told me he didn't want to freak me out and that he had pinky swore with her he wouldn't tell. But turns out he listened to Mia and Harper and that they described Janie as holding an umbrella. He said it freaked him out a bit, and he started to draw, and when he showed it to them, they said that's exactly how she looked. I started to freak out, like this is crazy, and I'm not sure what to do here. I can't tell Lee she'd lose her mind if she realized the implications here. I've been a believer for years, but this has spooked me.
And so, the final words of this tale drift into the quiet air like the last embers of a dying fire, leaving behind a warmth that lingers. We've journeyed through shadows and light, witnessed triumphs and heartaches, and for a time, our paths converged within the pages of this story. It is with a gentle sigh that I must now bid you farewell, but only for a moment, as there is more to come, and this story isn't done with us just yet. Thank you for joining me for even a moment on this path, and I look forward to telling more tales in the future.